What's going on, everybody? It is the one and only Nose Q Damas here because, as always, your boy Q can see the future because, well, it's so painfully obvious to me. Now, you might be wondering what are we talking about this time because there are a billion things that I have successfully predicted, and this time it's yet another one. So, a little while back, we mentioned, kind of hinted at how Oculus slash Facebook was going to mess with the Oculus Rift's requirements, or even just the Oculus family of products requirements, and how it would be a bad thing going forward and cause disastrous problems, and in fact would eventually lock me out of official support. And that was all because of a new policy change. So basically, what was going to happen is starting in October of 2020, which has already taken place, any new Oculus user, be it if an Oculus Rift or the brand new Oculus Quest 2, would be required to link their Facebook ID to their Oculus account. So basically, you need a Facebook ID. If you are a new user, you need a Facebook ID and a Facebook account to use your brand new Oculus, whatever it is, product. Now, for someone like me who's already an existing Oculus owner who has no Facebook account, I'm okay until the year, I believe it's 2022, I think it's 3 years from now, at which time, if I don't link it to a Facebook ID, I will be locked out of all future updates, official proper support, etc, etc. I can probably still do some type of workaround with the likes of Steam VR and maybe a handful of other things, but you get the point. It's the main features and functionality that I would be blocked out of. But let's go back to where this is affecting everybody now, because it is October of 2020. So anyone who has bought a brand new Oculus Rift or Oculus Quest 2 has been, let's say, having troubles because of this new policy changes. Many people out there, like myself, do not like to use Facebook. And unfortunately, because of this new policy, new users are being forced to create a new Facebook account, and they're instantly linking it to their Oculus account and their Oculus Rift or their Oculus device in order to use it, because they have to. But here's where it gets a little bit strange, because if you create a brand new Facebook account, there are dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of verified uses of this now. But when you create a brand new Facebook account, if you instantly link it to an Oculus account, this triggers some type of fraud. And your account gets locked/suspended until you have to do unreasonable requirements in order to get it unlocked. Which can range up to, depending on who you're talking to, sending a kind of photocopy or scan of your driver's license or passport. All just to use a VR headset. But it doesn't stop there as well, because recently something was dug out in regards to this whole policy change. One of the senior engineers at Facebook/Oculus put out a little bit of an innocent, well, almost innocent, it is Facebook after all, tweet a little while back. And it wasn't really until, well, this whole situation where it became clear what he was talking about. Because if you link your Facebook account, maybe you have an old Facebook account, a good standing one, a long running one, and now you've linked it and there's no fraud trigger or anything like that. Well, if by some other reason, through some posts or memes or whatever it is that you post and get created or whatever, if your Facebook account gets banned from Facebook or suspended from Facebook permanently, that also revokes your Oculus account. And again, therefore you lose access to your proper support for your new device. In fact, it's any official support for your brand new paid hardware device. Overall, this is an absolute shit show, and I, for one, love to see Facebook being shit on over all of this kind of thing, because they want as much control as possible. They want as much, in this case, of your private and personal info as possible. There's no reason whatsoever why you should need a Facebook account to use an Oculus Rift. Pretty much everything these days lets you log in with multiple different things. There's different websites that let you log in with Twitter, with Discord, hell, with even Google. There's no reason that this shouldn't be allowed on something like that. Or even the fact that you should just be able to create your regular old Oculus account. Now, one could argue that even by doing so, you're still giving your information to Facebook, but there's a whole other kind of separate public-facing side of it, if you will. But I just think this is an absolute mess. And clearly, when I predicted it would be an absolute mess, it has turned out to be an absolute mess. Not only 3 years from now, but also right now when this first policy change came into effect. From day one, it was a disaster. Thankfully, I won't have any of these issues when I get my Valve Index. And you know what? I already have a Steam account, and as far as I know, there's going to be no Valve book that I have to merge my account with just to play Half-Life Alyx.